Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Multiple Careers podcast. This is episode number 12, and in today's episode, I want to answer the question of why you might not be motivated to work and one of the main things that you can do about it. So, you might be working in some job at a company, at an employee, and you've gone back to work at the beginning of this year, and you've noticed that you're really not motivated. Maybe there was a time earlier when you just got the job, when you just started in your career where you were really motivated and productive, but somehow now you've arrived at a point where you feel kind of down, you feel kind of lazy, you feel like you're stalling things, like you don't really have energy, you just don't feel motivated to work, and you're asking yourself, what is going on? Why am I not motivated? And what can I do about it? I don't want to continue working and living in this way. It just really sucks. So I think that obviously you're not the only one who is going through this. There are tons of people who are experiencing exactly the same thing. There are so many people who are highly demotivated with their work. And of course, there are a lot of reasons for that. I mean, there are people who in general are just not motivated about anything. But I'm pretty sure it's highly likely that you listening to this podcast right now, watching this YouTube video right now, you are not among them, because the fact that you clicked on this video to find out more about it means that you are actually a person who is driven, who is ambitious, who wants to make things work and find out how to get things done. But maybe at some point you just feel like you're stuck and you don't know why. You just feel demotivated. So in this episode, I want to talk about one of the main reasons, one of the very big reasons why many people feel demotivated about their work. And that is because they are lacking a purpose. So ask yourself right now, when you are working in your job and pursuing this career of yours, do you feel like you have a purpose, or are you just going through the motions? You are just checking into work, you are trying to do your best, achieving your goals, and you're trying to do a good job, be a good team player, but beyond that, you don't really have a purpose. You don't really know where all of this is heading, why you are doing the work that you're doing, why you are putting in so much effort. And the first thing that comes to mind when talking about purpose, which in other words is simply a why, a reason why you're doing something, is you might say, yeah, my purpose or the reason that I'm working is to earn money, or to get that next promotion, or simply to pay the rent, right? And yeah, that is a goal. That is your goal. Your goal of working is to make money, to pay your rent, to get a promotion. But the problem is that it is not connected to a higher reason. I mean, that could be a motive. You could say that is your motive. Your motive to work is to earn money, to get your bonus, to get a promotion, to pursue a career, to pay the rent, to pay the bills, to buy food, to go on vacations, and blah blah blah. But beyond that, there's not something higher on that goal hierarchy that is motivating you. So the lack of the purpose is one of the big reasons why people stall in their progress and just get demotivated. So if you feel that you're currently going through something like this, then there are a few things that you need to do. And the first one is you have to find your purpose. And it doesn't need to be this big unachievable thing. It just has to be a reason why you are working that goes beyond these smaller goals like getting a promotion or paying your rent, etc. So you have to have a deeper reason, a deeper meaning for what you're doing. So let's say that your motive to work is to earn money and to pay the bills. But what is the purpose behind that? The purpose that you have has to cover a longer stretch of time than those goals do. So, for example, you're working this month to earn your salary for this month so you can pay this month's bill. But the purpose would cover a time frame beyond that. Why are you doing this? Why are you working? Why are you working each month of the year? Where does this lead to in the end? So the purpose, for example, might cover a time frame of 1 or 2 years. So the reason that you want to earn a salary or get a salary increase or get a promotion is, for example, so that in 2 years' time you can save enough money to, for example, tone down your job to become freelance or to become part-time. Or the reason could also be so that you and your family could go on a trip around the world for 3 weeks to Europe, Asia, Australia, once the pandemic is over. Maybe that could be a purpose. And as you see, it doesn't have to be something that is world-changing, like you want to change the world to be your purpose or save humanity or so. It can be something that's it can be a small, personal, private reason, but the point is that it has to be a reason that is bigger than simply just earning money or just getting a promotion or earning a title, because that is just your motive. That is just a goal that you want to achieve, but it says nothing about why you want to have it. So your goal, your motive is to get a promotion, but why do you actually want to have that promotion? That is where the purpose comes in. That is the reason why you're doing it. So the reason why you want to get a promotion is, for example, because after you get that promotion, then you might be able to move to this other company and get into senior management or something. But if that purpose, if that goal is not motivating enough for you, then you have to go on and ask yourself, why in turn do I want that? What is the reason behind that? And so on, so on, you have to go on. But the point is that instead of just having a goal or a short-term motive, you have to have a bigger purpose behind that. You have to have something that is guiding the whole thing and that is leading you into a certain direction. So the second thing that you need in order to be motivated working is that this purpose that you identify has to have sufficient meaning. So you have to be really honest in doing this. If you come up with a purpose just for the sake of it or just because it sounds good, then it's no use of all. So you have to be honest to yourself. What kind of purpose, what is meaningful enough for you so that you can be motivated about your work? So if you work in a company, let's say in a telecommunication company, and you tell yourself that, okay, let's just say my purpose is to provide the best quality service to my customers. Of course, that sounds like a very noble goal, and that's perhaps something that your supervisor, your boss wants to hear from you, right? And if that's actually the case, then good for you, then it could work. But the thing is, if you're not honest about it, if it's something that you just come up because it sounds nice, then it won't be of any use at all. You will still continue being demotivated, not motivated about doing your work. So what you have to do is come up with an honest reason. You have to honestly tell yourself what your purpose is for working there. And again, like I said before, it can be a very personal reason. It could even be a selfish reason at that point, but for now, what you need is you just want to get yourself motivated to continue working, right? If after this whole process you realize, actually I have no purpose at all, no matter how I try to dig, I can't come up with anything, then perhaps it's time to leave your job. It's time to look out for something else. It's time to leave your career and figure out what you want to do. But let's just assume that you still want to stay in this career, you still want to stay in this job, and all you want to do is to get yourself motivated so that you can do your work. Then you have to try and come up with a purpose that is honestly meaningful to you. So one of the things, like I said before, that could be meaningful for you is to come up with a savings goal. So that could be something that is truly motivating to you, because you know that if you keep on working in this job for the next 2 years, then you will be able to save, let's just say as an example, $80,000, and that will bring you closer towards your financial goals, in the hopes that someday you won't need to continue working full-time, but perhaps you can turn that job into a part-time job and you can achieve some level of financial freedom. Or another purpose could also be that you want to use this job as a stepping stone. You just want to use this job as a stepping stone to acquire a certain skill or build a network, so that after this you will be able to start your own business and have your own clients. So it's just very important that you have to be honest to yourself. Don't lie to yourself about why you're doing what you're doing. And if you can find that purpose, it doesn't have to be for a purpose for your entire life, but just a purpose for a longer time frame, for 1 or 2 years, then you can derive intense motivation from that. So the third thing that you need to do is, if you figured out what your purpose is, of working in this job, pursuing this career, you need to have a reminder of this purpose, because in daily life, because we're so busy with so many things, running errands, doing our jobs, taking care of kids if you have any, it's so easy to forget what is important to you and what your ultimate goal is, what your purpose is. So you need to find a way how you can remind yourself of that purpose. And there are many ways to do that. You can just put it on your phone. You can scribble some text, some words on a piece of paper and take a picture of it and put it on your phone, so you always have it with you, and then you can save it as in your favorites, so it's easy to find it. Or you can also you can type out something on your computer, print it, and put it in a frame and hang it up somewhere near your fridge or wherever at home, so that every day on a daily basis you are reminded of your purpose. And if your purpose, for example, is connected to people, and this is something that is usually very meaningful to a lot of people, so the reason that you work and you stay in this job for the next few years is because you want to provide your family with a better life or your kids with better education, then yeah, put up family photos up, put up photos of your children, of your family, so every time you see it, you connect it to that purpose and you remind yourself why you're doing all of this, why you're going through this pain, through this hard work. So again, just to summarize, if you feel demotivated about your work and you want to find a way of how to get yourself motivated again, what you need to do is, number one, you need to find a purpose for a longer time period. It can be for the next year or the next 2 years, for example, using this job as a stepping stone or having a particular savings goal in mind. Number two is that you have to be honest about that purpose. It's not enough just to make up a purpose that sounds noble and grand, but that doesn't really mean anything to you. So it can be something very personal, but it has to really mean something to you. You have to try to find that connection. And number three, you have to have some method that you use to remind yourself constantly of that purpose so that you don't forget it. Put it somewhere up so that you can physically see it every day when you walk past it. So I hope this was useful for you guys. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.